Welcome to the Alexandra Wenman Show. Today I'm very pleased to join Charleen Anna Louise to talk about her fabulous book, You're More Than Just a Body. Charleen, thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for inviting me here.
This book's amazing. I just want to point out, look how much information is in this book. So Charleen, what inspired you to write this incredible tome of information here?
My experiences. So with this, it was all about what I experienced, what I went through, and knowing that this could help somebody else. So if I had this at the beginning when I awakened, that would have helped me to get through what I would say the major steps of awakening, which is those, faith going inwards on the shadow work and things like that. And then when you start experiencing, when you wake up and you start experiencing like angels and seeing the lights and the orbs, and you start to tap into other dimensions, if you don't know what it is, it can be really frightening or freaky, or you think you've got a brain tumour like I did.
Hallucinating.
I actually went for a test because I thought something was pressing on the brain, and that's why I was seeing these things, because in 2011 it started and no one actually I'd no one to discuss that with at the very beginning. So if I'd have had this book at the beginning, it would have saved a lot of me worrying and just thinking what's going on with myself.
And that you're actually a normal human being.
And that I am actually normal, and I'm not a chosen one. Because if you do, you get that Messiah complex. It's true, when you see, when things start happening and there's energies coming in and like angels are surrounding you, you're like, I must be super special, It's like I must be the chosen one. So we're all chosen ones. But it's vital, I think, now for people who are waking up and discovering all these things about their true thing, their true purpose, and that they're multidimensional. And I think when they understand on a simple way of understanding, and this is simplified. You can't get any more simple than this.
This is a bit like a spiritual empowerment handbook, isn't it, for people?
Yeah.
So you could be an absolute beginner, but it's also very good for people that are already very well into the path as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, because I have clients who are also teachers, who are also going out and doing workshops, and they still use this book. So there's things in there for people who are advanced. We're all learning and experiencing along this path. it doesn't matter how advanced you are or how many years you've been teaching, that we can always learn from another person's experiences. And I find that that's what, when they go into it, they realise, oh my gosh, and they learn something else and they put it into their teachings. So yeah, it's for people at the beginning and all the way through.
And what I find it's amazing that you've written not just a book, but that you've actually written this much. Right, how many pages have we got here? There's something like 500 pages.
It's quite
in this book,
isn't
it?
it? It's actually
670 pages in this book, because you're actually dyslexic, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Wow. So how was it a struggle to write this much? How did you get through this?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was Archangel Gabriel that came to me and said, "You're going to write a book," and I was like, "No, I'm not." Because I knew at the time when I started writing this 4 years ago, or actually before 4 years ago when I had the message, I wasn't in my power then, and I wasn't believing in myself for a start, and I was in a place of I can't do that, I'm dyslexic, and I spent all my life feeling like I can't achieve things because of the dyslexia. So it was a curse in my eyes. Actually, it was a gift, but it was a curse up till a certain point. So when they told me to write a book, I was like, I can't do it, I really can't do it. And it's the actual archangels that came forward to help me. It wasn't really anybody in a human vessel that came and said, you can do it. It was the archangels.
The spiritual team.
It was a spiritual team that said, if you trust, open up and allow, we will bring it through. We will be the ones that bring it through you. So a lot of it's channeled, but through experience. So my higher self as well is really involved in this. It wanted to bring that through. Sorry, I need a drink in a minute. So yeah, I decided at that point to do it. Was it easy? No. And I think I put it in a drawer about 4 or 5 times over the few months, and wanted to bin it a few times, because I would then start comparing myself to prolific writers, and I would see everybody out there, and I'd start researching how to write a book. I couldn't afford to do all the, I'd never been to university, I didn't really know how to spell properly, and got my words mixed up. So I thought, how can I really do this? And then when you start researching and trying to learn on the internet, you realise that every single person that's brought out a book is prolific. They have been to university, they have had writers' workshops, they've got everything, and then there's little old me sat there thinking, this is not going to work, and especially on such a complex subject as ascension.
I was going to say, and it's brilliantly done, because it's almost like you were the right person to bring this book out, because it's not
linear.
It's a multi-dimensional book, right?
Yeah.
So you can open this book at any page and get whatever you need for the day. You'll get, open it at any
Some of my
subject.
readers do that. Some of my readers just allow guidance, and they just like flick open and they go with what's in there. So it's like a message book as well as that. I did start writing the book, put it away a few times, then came back, and I found that every time I lost confidence, the spiritual realm would come in and help me go through something to build my confidence. And then they started to they kind of encouraged me to talk about dyslexia, which I've never done, by the way. It's taken me up to the point of this book to talk about it. I was embarrassed to be dyslexic because I wasn't. People didn't think I was. They thought I was some like working in a grand job with loads of money and all this kind of. And here I was struggling with maths, English, like numerology, straight over my head. So the numbers, so many issues came with this, and I had to embrace that first. So before I did this, I had to learn how to embrace and love dyslexia and use it as a tool to bring this through. So that's what I had to do first. Work on myself.
So, and that's kind of the way it's done, isn't it? You go through your own healing journey, your own healing path, face your own inner demons, and then. But this is so inspiring, because you're proof in the pudding that anyone can do it. If you feel guided to write a book, you can do it.
That's why I want to do it as well. So apart from the message that's in the book, I wanted to everyone that's listening to this and people that follow me, I really want them to. The ones that are dyslexic, which by the way, when I announced that I was, so many came forward saying they had the same problem and they want to write, but they didn't think that they could write. So this is for all the people that want to bring out a book and want to share their light and want to help people in the world. We should not sit back because of dyslexia. Dyslexia is a gift. It's a beautiful gift, because it means that we have to tap into other ways to feel things and experience things to get the message through. So instead of using just my logical side and just writing, I have to go through the other experience and pull in all the feelings and the deep stuff to be able to write about it.
And then there's the other flip side, isn't there? There's the subject matter itself, which we know as people on the spiritual path is not always an easy subject to come out, and it's like coming out of the spiritual closet, isn't it? So did you have any fears around the content that you were putting out?
Only the extraterrestrials. And I wouldn't say it was a fear, like, oh my God, I'm going to get, it was more of a, is this going to, like, in the beginning, I was all about the archangels and the angels, teaching angel workshops. I was really bringing forward that, angel readings and things like that. So everyone was knowing me as angel, and all of a sudden I'm bringing in this extraterrestrial side of things. So I was a little bit concerned that maybe people would think I've lost the plot. Taking too many drugs. But the thing is, the thing is with me, okay, I'm very, very authentic. And if I feel something, experience something, see something, and I know it's important for humanity, I have to bring that through, no matter what. So, I don't know, people may think I'm a crazy alien lady, but...
Well, hello, there's another one here, so we're not alone.
I've experienced it, and it exists, and it's out there, and there's a lot, obviously it's a lot deeper in the book, but, the fears are gone.
Good.
I don't care anymore.
I think it's, when you, in my, the way I see it is that knowledge and wisdom, it's meant to be shared, really, because we're all part of a collective. So if you're a vessel of knowledge and you just hold on to it, it's like, well, where's it going to go?
It's not just that. I feel like, because I work in service, and if and I feel we're all blessed, but I feel like super blessed because of the experience that I've had to have, the deep experiences, because that's the only way I can teach or write, because it's what I've felt and seen. So I feel like I've had some really deep stuff happen. I've seen things manifest in front of my eyes, different beings and things like that. And I just feel like if I was to ignore that and not bring that through in a book, that could potentially help many people around the world understand what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, what they're a part of, and especially why a lot of souls don't fit in the human vessel, and why they feel disconnected from this planet when they understand that it's the deeper thing going on, and it's because of origins and different universes and things like that. Then that's really bad for me to do that. when I've been given such a gift to do it.
To be able
so
to see
I
it.
can't think about what people think about me or judge me. I have to think about my service and why I came.
Yeah. So can we go back to how your awakening happened? And can we talk a little bit about, for our viewers, you know, what in your terms, what an awakening is and how you experienced it from a personal standpoint?
Well, awakening for me is waking up from your slumber. It's like going from being walking dead to the living. No, it's serious, right? When you're asleep, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with being asleep, you're enjoying your life and things like that. But when you awaken different parts of the consciousness. You're climbing that ladder of the different scales and using the bigger part of the the subconscious mind and the superconscious mind. So instead of being limited in our 10% and walking around unaware of what's going on in front of us, you know, everything, our chakra system, our energy field, our intuitive skills, all of our gifts that we have, which are important for us to survive as a species, when we just asleep in that 10% and we just don't know what's going on, it's very dangerous, I think. I think we're just walking blind into the darkness, you know. So waking up for me is literally walking down a narrow pathway at 2 o'clock in the morning, but being able to see where you are. Instead of being in the dark, you can see around the corners, you can see everything. It's about becoming your true potential multidimensional self. It's connecting back to who you are instead of being shut off from the very thing that you need to be. So awakening is really, really important.
And what's the biggest thing you learned about yourself when you went through your awakening?
That I'm amazing! No, it's true. When you wake up, you realise that you're just a beautiful divine being, and all this outer stuff is just, you know, it's beautiful. I love my vessel and all that, but our real beauty is the divine. It's source energy. You know, we come from that beautiful place. So it's I found out that I was just an amazing, intelligent person. After spending 20 plus years telling myself I was thick and stupid, all of a sudden I went from that to telling myself I was amazing. And you just feel more powerful, empowered. You're able to cope with the challenges and the obstacles and what life brings. And I think that's really important, to be empowered for that as well. To be empowered as a woman or a man, to balance everything out, just walk in that path.
100%. And before your awakening, what was your life before? Because now obviously you're a spiritual teacher, you write books, you're an author, you're an inspiration. What was your life like before you became Charleen Anna Louise, the author and the teacher?
My life was very different. So it wasn't, for anyone that's watching this, I know people will watch it who've seen my past. And I was very, very different. I worked in the fashion industry. I was among the fashion people, which I thought were my tribe, because at that point I had shaved hair with pink Mohican going on. I used to have, all the Botox and that. Nothing wrong with all that, but I used to have it a lot. I was obsessed with keeping a certain look. Fashion was very, very important for me, so I had to look as weird as possible. I didn't like to fit in, okay? At all. In fact, my worst nightmare would be going out and seeing somebody with the same pair of shoes or something. I'd go back home. So, you know, I had to dress a very different way. So my life was before that was crazy. I was definitely not awakened. Okay, so I was drinking, you know, going back right into the past, I dabbled with a couple of bits and pieces, drugs, not anything heavy, but in the beginning, when I was 18, 19, going to raves, all through, I was always partying and just being that life, but all the time showcasing this shell of, if you want to say, beauty. I am like, woohoo, but inside I was actually dying because I was lost, I wasn't connected to my purpose, my mission, and I wasn't happy with who I was. That's why I covered myself up in an extreme way. So it was my outer bodyguard, if that makes sense. That's what I hid behind. So I wasn't my true, authentic self. Although I was still a lovely person, I don't know, a couple of fights now and again. Maybe. I can't lie. But, it was just an interesting life, and I was just not aware of anything. But I was always searching at the same time, but not knowing what I was searching for. So I would look at the sky and do a prayer and ask for help, but not really knowing what or who I was actually praying to or anything like that. And what I would do is I had depression for many, many years, severe depression. So I would actually go around, I'd take off around the world, and I used that as a coping thing, just so it gave me a bit more time before I killed myself. I know it sounds like really, really drastic, but it's the hard truth of being lost on this planet and not being connected to what you want to be connected to. So I would buy a plane ticket and say, I'm going to go off for a year and go around the world, because that gives me a bit more time to try and find myself. And then I come back and I'm in the same position again. Although I had a great time, I wasn't still not found that connection. So then I'd book another ticket and go somewhere else. I was constantly searching, but it wasn't my right time to wake up. I planned my time to wake up, which was 2012, you know. So yeah, I was a very, very lost soul, but I never showed it. No one knew that I was depressed until in 2005 I tried suicide.
Wow.
So I did, but I planned it for a year. So it wasn't like I didn't go out, get drunk and just have a stupid moment. It was something that I thought long and hard about. And I thought, if nothing's going to happen for me on this planet, I'm going, because I now realise that I am a soul to be in service. And because I wasn't in service, I was lost and I wasn't happy. I was just like, what is this? I'm just like wasting time. Could be doing something really, really important, you know? What was that important thing? That important thing was finding out who I was. And that's why that book's out, to help people find out who they are before they try and do that, and maybe they might not make it.
A lot of people do have that, don't they? Especially starseeds.
Oh my gosh.
Have this inherent calling that we search for. So what was the actual...
I attract them, by the way. It's like attract like. So I now have been through all of this. I attract all the ones that are just right at the point of wanting to take their life, and then I step in.
Wow.
And I stop it.
I was going to say, do you think that set you up? So
absolutely.
With the actual awakening that you went through, was the attempt on your life the catalyst that sort of...
No.
So it was a time after that even?
Why? You think?
What
you think spending a few days in hospital and then having like 7 months of counselling would wake me up, wouldn't you? No, it didn't. That was in 2005 when I attempted suicide, and it wasn't until 2011, right at the back end, right at the end of 2011, something started to change within me. I started to get a feeling again, and I thought, something's not right. I've got everything. I've got a great place to live in London. Everything was good. My partner at the time was great. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, something's not right. I feel that weird feeling again, you know, which was, now I know what it is, it's separation. So I thought, oh my God, this time I started asking for help. So instead of keeping it in, I thought, I'm going to ask someone else. And that's when a lady in Canada came forward called Joyce Graham. And she runs a page on Facebook called Angels in My Life. And she stepped forward and she said, I think you need to know a few things. And I was like, what? She said, you're going to be this, that, and then she reeled off this whole list of things that I'm going to do, going to be, and you know, she's going to monitor it and help me and coach me. And I think it was a few weeks later, well, a couple of weeks later, it was Archangel Michael. So I was in my room and Archangel Michael came, did something to me. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? That sounds really rude.
What are you doing in my
No, but no, on a serious note, I was on the floor laid down and this angel came in. You can't mistake it, and that's what changed my life, because I knew at that moment what I experienced in that 40 minutes was some kind of laser being run through my body, and it was like 10 years of depression was sucked out of me, just sucked out of me. And I just sat up in shock, as you can imagine, you know, and I'm thinking, what? And I cried, I think for like a week non-stop, just off and on crying, releasing what had happened to me. And I knew that day that my life was about to change. And it was scary, because I'm still in that third dimensional way of living, and about to tell my partner at the time, by the way, I've had an archangel come to me today, and he was completely not open.
Wow.
And I had to tell him because it was so real to me.
Yeah.
And that's when I started having tests, thinking maybe I'm seeing things and stuff like that, but it wasn't, obviously. So the awakening was very, very fast. Very fast. Within 6 months, I'd gone from completely asleep, walking dead in my eyes for me, to experiencing and seeing physically, not in the third eye, physically the archangels. I didn't see the masters at first, ascended masters, just the archangels, angels, and they guided me for 6 months to the strength that I had to be. And within that 6 months, I started soul sailing. I started having earthbound souls coming to me. I was starting to tap into all of that just naturally. So I realised at that point that I was remembering, not learning. I never went to a circle. I never went to anything to learn anything. I remembered everything that I already had in me from past previous lifetimes.
That's what I think a lot of people are experiencing now, isn't it? It's nothing new. This is not new age stuff. It's ancient wisdom that's reawakening.
See, I don't even like that word. Like I'm teaching somebody, because I'm helping that person to remember who they are, and that's what this book is. I'm helping you. As soon as you read some of that, if you're not awake, if you're just awakened a little bit, you'll start to remember something, because it's already gone into your consciousness and your subconscious and superconscious, and all that stuff starts to happen. It's
and then it's all connected somewhere.
It's an activation. So all I'm doing is helping you to remember who you are, which is empowering you. I don't want to teach you anything, because my experiences are very different to your experiences, to anybody else's experiences. We're all in service, but it doesn't mean we share the same experience. So all I can do is help you maybe remember something. That's it.
I love you. We're so on the same page.
You know?
Amazing. Just for our viewers as well, because I love talking about people's gifts, how it works for different people, because we're obviously all so unique. Some people see clairvoyantly, but with their own thought, like it's almost like their own thoughts. Some people hear like externally. So when you were seeing the angels sort of externally, how would they appear to you? How would you experience it?
Colour and vibration. So it was literally like you see the Matrix movie. The first time I saw Archangel Raphael was mind-blowing. I've never seen him again the same. Never. I don't know why that happened that day. I was working in a hair salon, of all places. I wasn't at home relaxed and just thinking, I'm going to see an angel. I was shampooing someone's hair, and I was massaging this lady's head, and I saw some steam coming up, and I thought, my first thought was, I've got the water too hot. And I was really upset, because that's the worst thing. I won't want to burn someone's hair, get sack. So I just checked and thought, that's nice. And I realised it was a smoke, like an energy smoke. And I thought, what is going on? And right in front of her legs were just out, she's got her head in the basin, and my hands are here. And right in front of her, Archangel Raphael manifested in a salon. And the way I can describe it was not just like a smoky green colour or anything like that. It was third dimensional geometric. It was a geometric shape, and all these little shapes were within little shapes, and they were just all like cogs in this green beautiful light, and it was big, and it made me shake. I had a panic attack, because all these things, in the beginning of the book I explain it. A lot of my major experiences were whilst I was still working in a normal job, and I say normal job because my job's normal now, but it's different. But I was working in a normal salon, and I was having to deal with seeing that, and then I have to go in the back and try and calm down. I've just seen something. And then my friend, she'll watch this video. Hi, Moncha. Moncha, who I used to work with. She walked me every step of that way in that salon. I was there for a year, and she saw every experience that I experienced, and she knew, because she felt it. She was like, "You've seen it, haven't you?" I said, "Yeah," and she helped me cope with that. I went through nosebleeds in that salon. I was changing, my frequency shifted big time whilst I was working there. So I see them as geometry. The archangels come up in a geometric shape, and they are big, and they're colours, and I see them physically. Amazing. I've never seen Raphael like that since, only in the colour.
I've seen them geometric as well.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like a Matrix movie, and when you've seen it with physical eyes, it's a bit different, isn't it?
It's happened to me on the bus to work as well. Like when you say it happens in public, it's like you don't plan these things. It often doesn't happen in meditation. It'll happen when you're completely not expecting it.
I started seeing what I call regular angels, so they weren't the archangels. And to me, when I see them, they're just like a light, I don't see them with wings or anything like that. I've never ever seen an angel with fluffy wings. I'm not saying that they can't manifest like that. I think they can do what they want for that person and what feels comfortable for that person. With me, they're happy to show their true form. And when I see them, they are just pure light. And it's just pure light, and that is it. But the regular ones stand similar size to us. And I started seeing people's guardians. And there was always more than one. I never ever saw any person with one guardian angel.
No, I think we've got more than one.
I've seen 2, 3, and sometimes more. And I started seeing them, and then I used to see something with the animals as well, like a little thing, like a little white thing following the animal. the dogs and things like that. So they must have a guardian too.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
lovely. Well, I always think the animals are like our guardians as well, aren't
Yeah.
they? They sort of
Yeah.
they have a higher consciousness. They're amazing. So with the ascension process, can we just have in your words what you think? What on earth is going on this earth right now? What's your
Well,
take on this whole process that we're going through?
It's an evolution, that's for sure. A lot of people, even people that are not awakened or not aware or don't want to believe in it, skeptical, atheist, it doesn't matter. Every single person is experiencing this, whether they want to open up to it or not. The ones that open up to it and ride that wave and deal with what's being presented will ride that wave smoother than getting caught up in it and going around in circles like this. So it's an evolution. It's Mother Earth. It's Gaia taking her rightful place in the universe after thousands and thousands of years. Finally, she's doing it. It's that's why it's in the book. It's a long thing to talk about. But many light workers, starseeds. I know a lot of people don't like the term light worker, but I actually do. Actually, I haven't got a problem with the word light worker, starseed, whatever. Lots of warrior souls, volunteers. A lot of us signed up.
Yeah.
We put our hands up. So we heard the call the second time, 2 calls. We heard the first call whilst we were not incarnated. Yeah, we'll come to Earth and help. And then we heard it again when we incarnated and we kind of lost our memory and we had to hear that call again and learn again. But we heard the call. We came here, many around the world. For the first time, we've got enough on the planet now to take it forward. Whereas in the past, in like the 60s and beyond that and thousands of years ago, there was never enough to sustain the light, the energy. So we have enough, and this planet will evolve and it will take its rightful place. How long? I'd like to think over the next 20, 25 years there's going to be huge differences on this planet. But I'm not going to predict anything because I'm just, I know what I know, but I don't want to do predictions. All I know is that things are happening and big changes are going to happen whilst we're on the planet. And for many souls who are hearing the call, waking up, their alarm bells are going on. They know. Even I have people coming to me that have no idea what it is, but they're coming to me because they're just guided. So for all them, it means waking up into a higher consciousness. It means a lot of people have a lot of soul work to do. They have to do shadow work. They have to turn inward. Instead of going outside to be healed and going to people constantly, these healers need to tell them to go inside and work within themselves on their emotional body, mental body, etheric and so on. So they've got lifetimes to clear, past lives. A lot of people that come to me were burnt at the stake. Women, they were witches, classed as witches, sorry. And they don't take their full empowerment in this lifetime because they're so scared of being taken again in a horrific way. So that's just one example of what's happening right now. Many souls are remembering and they don't want to take that next step because of fear. So it's working on those fears and going back and dealing with it. Then you've got all this lifetime stuff, the inner child. Lots of people have had abusive relationships, child abuse and narcissist parents and partners and God knows what. And it's completely made layers around them that their heart has got like a seal as well, the heart chakra. So they're not able to get to that higher frequency which they need to be to continue with Gaia. So that's why we're brought in, all of us light workers who have already gone through this. We've gone through the pain, haven't we? Let's face it. Any light worker or anybody who's doing this job that's not gone through it, then they need to maybe go through it, because we have to face our demons and face our crap and get it out before we can heal somebody else. So then we go and work with them to release and work on their emotional body. It's the 4 low bodies. The 4 low bodies need to be healed for them to take their place in the 5th dimensional frequency. The 4th is a stepping stone base. The 4th frequency is basically the stepping stones to divine.
To it all, right?
Yeah.
So if someone were to come to you for a healing session, how do you work? Do you work with energy? Do you do belief work?
Oh God, it's difficult to explain what I do. First of all, I always have a chat with them first anyway. I never ever take a client without a consultation because I like to just see if I'm right for them. And if I'm not right for them, I'll pass them to someone else. I think it's really important that you feel that. But I mainly work with the emotion code, okay? So I trained with Dr. Nelson with the emotion code, and even though I use that, I've kind of designed it in my own way. I never ever train with anybody and then just mechanically do what they do. I always do something else happens. So I work mainly with spirit. Okay, so I work with Ascended Masters, I work with Saint Germain, I work with my higher self. I use all of the higher stuff and I open myself up to be a vessel. So I've had a lot of people say, how come you don't use magnets? And it's good that I mention this because with the emotion code it's magnets and we run them over the meridians to release the energy out. I've never ever used a magnet. You know why? I'm the magnet. I don't need any tool. I am the tool.
Well, you can use the crystal too, I think, in that system, but we are crystalline, right?
We're crystalline.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't use a magnet. It's fantastic, you know, you use what you feel guided to, but I developed my own technique, so I have become this like vortex, if you want to say. So when I merge, I do a soul merge with my clients. When I merge with them, I can then feel everything that they're feeling and I can pull it out. With kinesiology, I use kinesiology and I just pull it out. I don't even know how I do it sometimes. What have I just done? But whatever I do it and it works. And I work with the emotional body mainly, the emotional body, you know. Get the stuff out, we don't want it. I don't do any weird stuff, I don't do nothing. I just get in there and get it out.
It's just like extracting
Extracting out,
trapped energies.
I don't mess about.
Yeah.
I don't do any of this weird talking and having to spend hours with them and prepare. Just get in front of me and let me get it out because it needs to be out, you know. But my main thing is self-empowerment. They've got to be empowered. They have to know their own gifts and their own power.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I just have one last question. In your words, because a lot of people aren't too familiar with the term starseed, so in your words, what is a starseed and how can people know if they're a starseed or not?
Okay, well first of all, we're all starseeds. Okay, so this is where when I first started waking up and I was diving into the starseed thing and I realised, wait a minute, by us saying I'm a starseed and you're this and you're that, you're causing divides and separation. So it's the same kind of thing with all the religion stuff. By dividing it all, we're doing it on a spiritual level. I'm a starseed, I'm not that. Actually, we're all just one thing. We're all from source and we're all connected on a high level, okay? So, but what all starseed means is that our souls, when we were created by our creator, we became a monad. And a monad is basically the divine spark, you know. And then that decided to break into 11, well, it's 12 altogether. It's a long thing. Read it in my book. But anyway, and then you make a choice of where to go and incarnate and have experiences. So a lot of souls come straight to Earth. So my partner came to Earth many times, and he doesn't resonate with any other planets. It's like he's a real Earth man, and he's been here all the time. I haven't. I've had most of my lifetimes on Arcturus, Sirius, you know. And so when I did come here, it's a bit alien for me, and that's why I felt like I was an alien. I'd always say I'm an alien, I've just been dropped off, you know, and I was always looking out the window waiting to be taken back because it's just a weird planet. But it's taken me 6 years to develop my love for Gaia and to want to be here and serve her as well, and that wasn't like that in the beginning. So a starseed is basically just souls that have had many other lifetimes and different their origins of, you know, the planets of where they've been. And for some starseeds, for some souls, they've had much more on other planets. And some starseeds are very well trained. They've trained on other systems. They've gone through many lifetimes clearing karmas and all that kind of stuff. So they could be in service for the evolution right now, the big thing, the exciting thing. So
the time is
so
now,
yeah. So we're all starseeds, but some of us are just more resonate. Some of us resonate more with another planet.
But I like to say, well, even Earth, even people from Earth is part of a larger galaxy, so we are galactic beings as well. There's no us in there.
Yeah.
And I also, from what I understand, we all share lots of different DNA from many different galactic races anyway. So you can't
Absolutely.
not be a starseed. But then, as you say, a lot of people have only incarnated.
But I covered that in the Starseed chapter about the volunteers and the ones that really did train to come here this time, to be in just divine service. And, you know, so it's the Starseed chapter, I think, is very important because that's the chapter that saves lives. Because that is the people that are so disconnected from this planet are the ones that don't want to be here, and they will go to all lengths to make sure they go back home to where they come from. But it's very important that we ground that energy. When we ascend into that high, beautiful, divine frequency, it's very important that we descend that light back into the four lower bodies and into Gaia. So we need to bring heaven to earth, not the other way around.
It's
we
funny,
need to be here.
when I work with a lot of starseeds, I do a lot of belief work. A lot of starseeds come in with a belief that they're not human, and so we sort of have to give them.
I've been through all this.
Yeah,
I've had to learn how to be a human being because, and my second book is called Healing and Separation, which is all about helping people to be human and enjoy that human experience.
But multi-dimensional.
But multi-dimensional at the same time.
Yeah.
So be Cosmo, but be Earth as well.
Yeah.
And there's a bigger reason why we came. We cannot be constantly up there in the cosmos. We have to bring the energy. We have to anchor our energy in Gaia. It's the only way we can change it. It's the only way we can evolve.
That's the point, right?
That's why we came.
Yeah. To have a divine, to be a divine being in a human existence.
But it's not easy.
No, it's pretty hard. Sometimes it's so not
It's
fun.
not easy. It's hard work. It's challenging. You will be tested, but it's worth it.
But we had a conversation before the interview, I just want to fill people in on like, it's all about enjoying a human existence as well. So like, for example, like I feel a little bit guilty if I go shopping too much, right? But it's also about enjoying your human existence and
I went through all of that as well.
Right?
I didn't want to drink alcohol because I thought, how can I be an example of the Christ light if I am, because I work with that energy every day. I'm very, very committed to my mission. I could sit in a temple daily, non-stop, honestly. But I thought, I can't drink alcohol, I can't do this, I can't wear makeup, I can't wear clothes like that, I can't wear shoes. Why can't we do that? We're still having a human experience. Yeah. We're not coming here to be, we can, you know what I'm talking
I think
about.
a lot of us have had our lifetimes where we've been in the convent or the monastery.
I've been in monasteries and convents and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So in this lifetime, I need to be human. And that's one of my lessons in this lifetime, is to actually be in this vessel, which I've spent long time trying to understand and to be in and accept it.
It's a lovely vessel.
And to be comfortable in it and to start enjoying being a human being. So now my teachings from this day forward are really about being anchored here and enjoying it and not feeling guilty for drinking coffee. I wouldn't touch coffee because so many spiritual teachers said it lowered my vibration, it was bad for me. Yeah, I'm not going to say coffee is good for you. Coffee is your choice. It's a toxic energy, okay? So be careful if you're going to drink it. Do I like coffee? Yeah, I do. Does it lower my vibration? No. Do I still see the angels? Yes. Do I still connect with my creator? Yes. There's nothing different. Only the fact that I had that thought put in my mind and it made me feel like I was losing my connection. So
it's everything in moderation,
right? Moderation,
if you lived on
balance.
McDonald's, you might kill yourself, but equally if you lived on a lettuce leaf, you might kill yourself.
Everything
so
is balance.
Just have balance and enjoyment.
Everything is balance. So we need to relax for that and just enjoy. If we want to go have a girly day shopping, let's do it. I'm up for it.
Excellent. Charleen, I love you. I think this has been absolutely wonderful. So also, just before we go, can you tell people how they can get in touch with you and how they can order a copy of your book? You're more than just a body.
Okay.
Amazing.
So my book is available paperback on my website, which is wtbangels.com. And I've got a Facebook page, which is Walk, Talk, Breathe Angels. Got to think, but make sure I get it right. And I also, it's going to be on Amazon after this weekend, so it's going to be Kindle, download Kindle, and that's for now, that's it, 'cause I'm doing it all myself.
Amazing. So you self-published and everything with this. This is phenomenal and such an inspiration. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Charleen.
Thank you for talking about it.